Josh, back into the starting side against Sydney in the last game, and now with LB Kelly healed out, obviously you'll take the responsibility again. What was the time like for you when you weren't the starting goalkeeper in this side?
Yeah, it was. Of course, it was tough. Anyone who says that it was a walk in the park is probably lying, you know. So yeah, it was tough, but it was a refining period, a period where I can step back and see things, and that's the way I took it.
What sort of things did you step back and see?
No, just like team dynamics, when you're able to see it from outside the pitch, you know, what players like and are good at, and like just the nature of football as well. It's a different thing watching it from the sidelines, you know, and, you know, some people can take it as the end of the world, or you can take it as a refining time to pick up things you wouldn't be able to see in the thick of the action, you know.
I guess it's the trade you've chosen, being a goalkeeper, but an outfield player, they might not be in the starting 11, but they might get a crack off the bench. Unlikely for a goalkeeper unless there's an injury, obviously. So how did you keep yourself motivated week in, week out, and help to encourage Albie when he was between the sticks?
Yeah, well, Albie, when I was playing, was very, very encouraging, and he was very supportive. So even regardless of that, with how I aim to be, that is something that, regardless of what position I'm in, the personality I would show would be to encourage whoever's there as a person and as a teammate as well.
And how do you stay sharp? Because you came back in against Sydney FC and made a number of good saves, but you hadn't been playing. So how do you stay match sharp as a goalkeeper?
It's more so in your head, really. Physically, it was still a bit of a struggle, that game, physically, but mentally you just have to stay extra concentrated, focus on the little things as well, and just, it's how you approach the game, really.
And you probably would never have watched New Zealand play football before you came here, but did you have an eye on your Phoenix teammates in the All Whites over the last week or so?
Yeah, I went to the game, and it was fun to watch it from the crowd. A lot of my teammates were doing absolutely tremendous, you know. So, yeah, it was good.
With the Sydney games, you weren't initially in the squad, so you had been sick. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I had COVID, which took me out for 2.5 weeks. You know, so that was tough. But then my first session back, like not a clearance session, but one to get your body going, then I found out that I might be in to play, you know. So that was the kind of process going into the Sydney match.
Because is there a scenario that could have played out by a matter of days that you had COVID and you couldn't have been involved, you know, had Albie suffered that injury and the game had been, you know, 3 days earlier or something like that?
Yeah, it's all timing, you know, everything's all timing, you know. So it could have been maybe pulled back days earlier. And then maybe I could have been on the end of my recovery and I might have had less time to get ready, you know. So things happen the way they are, and that's how it happened.
And as a goalkeeper, how do you wait for that next opportunity if you come out of the team? Because any other position, you know, you get dropped the next game, you can come off the bench and maybe try and press your case. But as a goalkeeper, how hard is it to wait for an injury or wait for an opening like that?
You just have to try and keep your standards up and try and focus on the little things you wouldn't have had as much time in whilst you're playing to do. You can go back to the basics as well and really go back to what you're good at and what you need to improve as well. So that's it really. You just have to keep your standards up and wait.
Did those saves at the end against Sydney give you a bit of confidence, like, you know, I can still do?
Not really. I think the confidence was already there. You just have to wait your turn. I think that the saves was just a byproduct of, you know, how I approached the game. And I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because, you know, the period is tough, you know, but I kept in good spirit during that period. So, yeah.
And it's very unique with the A-League, you know, there's 5 import spots. Generally, they're given to starting players. I guess you can appreciate if you're a goalkeeper and you're on the bench, it creates a interesting position for an import player to be in. So for you, with these remaining games, now that you've got the second chance, is it a case to really show, like, hey, I can be an import in the A-League? Do you view it like that anymore?
No, not really. I think things happen in football, so you have to subtract yourself out of the situation, the emotion of the situation, I think there's elements that people would like in the way I've played, and there are things that people will have things to talk about, you know. So I don't see it as I have anything to prove. I'm just going to keep doing my thing, and then in the end, everybody will have their judgments and opinions.
And Western Sydney are the highest scoring team in the A-League, so expecting a busy time on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm trying to approach every game with the same mentality. Whether it's a team that doesn't have that record or not on the day, it can be completely different or it could be the same. So our whole team's going to bring our A game, and I'm sure they will bring their A game. So yeah, it'll be a good match.
When you moved to Wellington, New Zealand, did you think you'd come up against Juan Mata?
Oh no, no. Him and Douglas Costa are like they're big names in football, and these experiences are a privilege to play against people with that sort of career. But at the same time, I'm sure they'll bring their A game, and that's what we'll be looking to do as well.
Would saving a Juan Mata shot, is that a collector's item for a goalkeeper? Do you guys look forward to things like that?
Yeah, you look forward to the kid inside you looks forward to things like that because he's had a superb career, you know, and growing up as a young kid, I'm sure a lot of the players in the A-League have watched him do a lot of magical things in his career. So it'll definitely be one that you would like and you would cherish, but at the same time, you have to treat your opposition as opposition when it comes to the first whistle.